Today in our 2017 Ford F250, we're going to be taking a look at and showing you how to install the RetraxPRO MX PRO Tonneau cover, part number RT80383. So here's what our Retrax MX PRO Tonneau cover looks like once we have it installed. And this is going to be a big upgrade over the traditional style snap tonneau covers or even the soft roll-up tonneau covers. Our Retrax is going to have an aluminum construction, and it's also going to have a nice matte black finish to it, which is going to complement almost any colored truck along with deterring scratches. Not only is the finish going to look good, but it is UV protected, so it's going to stay looking good for a long time. And with our tonneau cover closed, it's able to support up to 500 pounds evenly distributed. Now, one of the really nice features about our tonneau cover is we're not going to have any pull straps or any cords or anything like that. If we come to the end on the driver's side, we can lift up the cover. We're going to push on the button to release the latch, and it actually doubles as a handle, and we'll be able to pull it back, sliding our tonneau cover, and we're able to lock it at any position all the way from the back of our tailgate, sliding it all the way back into the canister. The benefit of being able to lock it in any position is if we have some elongated cargo that may stick out the back of our tailgate, we can actually bring our tonneau cover right up to that cargo and lock it in place, making sure that it's not going to move around. Since it's a retractable tonneau cover, our tonneau cover is just going to roll right into this canister here and not block our window or obstruct anything else. And that's going to be a nice feature in case we have a fifth wheel or a gooseneck in our truck bed. We'll be able to look out the back window and see what we're doing without having that fold-up tonneau cover in the way. And inside the canister, our RetraxPRO is going to have some sealed bearings so it slides in the track nice and smooth. Now, since they're sealed, that means that they're going to be maintenance free as well. The front cover here is going to stay flush with our rolling cover, so it's going to have a nice, sleek, low profile design. And our tonneau cover is going to be an extremely simple installation. It's just going to be a clamp-on design with no kind of drilling or cutting required. And on the inside of our truck bed, our tonneau cover is not going to take up a whole lot of space. The canister is only going to take up about 13 inches to the very farthest point. The rails are going to be under an inch tall, and they're only going to take up about a little under 2 inches of the inside of our truck bed. It's also going to feature a lock, so once we have it closed, we can take the included key and lock it up, close the cover, and when combined with a locking tailgate, all of our cargo will be nice and secure. Robin wrote in saying that they used to have a soft snap-on tonneau cover, and while they enjoyed it for a time, once the cold weather rolled around, the performance decreased significantly. And they're so glad that they got their new Retrax tonneau cover because not only is it easy to use, it's lockable. So now they don't have to worry at night when they're traveling about all the cargo in their bed. So now that we've seen what our RetraxPRO tonneau cover looks like and gone over some of the features, let's show you how to get it installed. To begin your installation, we're going to need to remove the shipping material that they provide when our Retrax is sent to us. There's going to be a white plastic clip right here on the end on each side, and if we come to the side of our cover, it's going to be held in by a screw. So we're going to want to grab a Phillips head screwdriver and remove that screw, but we're going to want to hold on to the bracket for later. Once that screw is removed, you can just lift the bracket up a little bit and pull it out. And we're also going to be removing the tube that's in the side there, and that's just again for shipping purposes to make sure all the bearings and everything doesn't come undone. So just going to want to pull that out. And we'll do that for the other side as well. So we're going to grab our rail now and get ready to mount it to our canister. Now we're over on the passenger side, which is going to have the Retrax symbol, and the rail is going to have a green sticker on it letting us know it's the passenger side as well. Now on the rail towards the very end, we're going to have this little tab here. It's going to have a hole in it, and if we move farther down, we're going to have another small hole right by this channel. Now these two holes are going to line up on our canister. This one further back is going to line up with the white clip that we removed, and the one back here is going to line up at the very back of our canister. Now what we need to do is we need to get our rollers inside this channel right here. Now in order for us to get our rollers into that channel, we're gonna have to open this cover so that we can unlock the tonneau cover so it'll roll out. So we just flip open the cover, then there's gonna be a button that we're gonna push that'll unlock our cover. And once we push the button, the handle will lift up and we'll be able to pull the cover out. So you're gonna wanna take your rail on the passenger side and we're gonna feed the bearings into that channel and slowly pull the cover out so that we can work our rail to where it lines up. Once you get everything lined up, we can see on the back here that that tab is actually going to go into a little slot. You can install the machine screws that come in our kit now. They're going to go right back here. It's going to be on the outside of the canister going in. So we can just loosely get it started by hand. You may need to push down on that rail to make sure that the hole lines up. Then we can come back with a Phillips head screwdriver and tighten it down. Now if we move forward a little bit, we're going to have our other mounting location, and we're going to take another one of those machine screws and put it in place. Once we have both screws in place, we're going to repeat that same process for the driver's side rail. With both rails in place, we can take our header cover panel, and it's going to have a slight notch on either end. That's going to be going towards the tonneau cover, and then on the back, we're going to have this rubber seal. That's going to be going away. So we're going to take it and we're going to slide it in the channel right underneath the rails. We're going to push it in until it stops. Now with the cover in place, we can take our Allen screws they provide in our kit. We're going to go down and it should line up with the rail and the top cover, and then we can use the included tool to tighten them up. And there is going to be one on the other side, so we can go and repeat that for the other side as well. With the rail and cover in place, we're going to go ahead and slide the tonneau cover in and out a few times to make sure that it's moving freely. Now you're going to want to grab an extra set of hands. We're going to walk our tonneau cover in place. You're going to want to get it as far towards the cab as you can. If you're having trouble getting your tonneau cover far enough forward to close the tailgate and you have a plastic drop-in bed liner, you may have to trim. Right here at the corners, you may have to trim out this section here, or you can remove the plastic bed liner so you can get the canister all the way in. Now once you have your bed liner trimmed or removed, we can go ahead and put our tonneau cover back in place, and again you're going to want to slide it all the way against the cab. You're going to want to make sure that the weather stripping here at the top is laying flat against the bed. Now at the end of the rail, we're going to close our tailgate, and you're going to notice that there's going to be a gap in between the bottom of the rail right here and the end of our tailgate. Now this is where that plastic piece that we took off in the beginning that I told you to hold on to, that's where this is going to come into place. If we look at the vertical section where that hole was, there's going to be a thick part and a thin part. We're going to be using the thinner part of that plastic piece, and we're going to be measuring between the tailgate cap here and the rail. Now you want it to be an 1/8 inch gap on each side, so you may have to shift the rail back or forward to get that 1/8 inch gap in there. So we'll move it a little bit and we'll double check with our tool to see if we have the right measurement. Now once you get that 1/8 inch gap on one side, you're going to go ahead and repeat that on the other side too. We can go ahead and grab our clamps now and just loosen them up just a bit because they should be pretty open. We're going to slide them open, and you'll notice that there's going to be some teeth on the clamps, and those teeth are going to line up with the ridges that are on our rail. With our front clamps, you're going to want to go right in between those two plastic adjustment screws towards the canister. So you're going to open it up. You can slide it into place, making sure that those teeth grab. Then we're going to grab a 9/16 socket and tighten up that bolt. It's always a good idea just to get them a little snug, just so they won't move on you. But then when you go to really tighten it down, you're going to want to push down on the rail while you're tightening it up so it gets a good seal against the bed. The rear clamp is going to go on in the same way, except we're going to go all the way back towards the tailgate where our two adjustment screws are, and we're going to go in between those two screws. Now that's going to be the same process on the other side, so we can go ahead and do those as well. Now with our rails and clamps both in place, we're going to take a few measurements. We're going to measure at the very top of the bulkhead here from side to side on top of the cover. And once you get that measurement, you're going to want to remember that or write that down. And then we're going to move about to the middle of the bed and take the measurement there. And once we have that measurement, we're going to measure one more time at the very back at the clamps and right above the clamps on top of the rails. Now ideally you want all of these measurements to be exactly the same, or you want the measurement to be in the middle and the back to be 1/16 smaller at the most. Now if they aren't, we'll show you how to make those adjustments. If your rails are too far apart at the back, we're going to want to remove the clamps, and we're going to have those two adjustment screws. Now they provide you with an Allen key to adjust it, and if they're too far apart, you're going to want to turn it clockwise, and if they're too close together, you're going to go counterclockwise. Now keep in mind that one full turn is about 1/16 of an inch. So if your rails at the back are too far apart, we're going to adjust them here, but if in the center or more towards the front they need adjustment, right where our clamps are, we're going to have those same two adjustment screws. Once you have those adjustments made, you're going to want to go ahead and open up the handle again and slide your cover in and out, making sure that it doesn't bind up. We can go ahead and remove the plastic film that's covering the canister. Just want to take your time and remove as much of it as possible. We left ours on for the installation, that way we wouldn't scratch the canister or any part of the cover. Now on the bottom of the canister, we're going to have a hole. That's where our drain tube is going to go in. The black part on the top is what's going to snap into the bottom of the canister, but we're going to have to find a spot for our drain tube to go out. Fortunately for us, we have this black plastic cover right here at the front of our bed. So I'm going to take a drill and drill a hole large enough for the tube to go out so all the water can drain out to the outside of the truck. Once we have our hole drilled, we can double check that it's large enough for our tube to fit through. Once we know that it is, we're going to take the black section of our drain tube and we're going to push it directly into the bottom of the hole on the canister. Now you'll hear it click. Just give it a gentle tug to make sure it locks into place. Now that we have this one in, we're going to repeat that on the other side as well. So with everything installed on our tonneau cover, we can go ahead and close it up. Close the latch, and we're ready to hit the road. And that'll finish up your look at the RetraxPRO MX Hard Tonneau cover, part number RT80383 on our 2017 Ford F250.